Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of 8 plus 1 The Classroom. My name is Charles Nzali.
Yes.
Today, I have a guest. Just like any other day, today I have Mae C.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
That's good.
Welcome to 8 plus 1 The Classroom. This is what I call the teacherless classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So we come here and then we talk about things that we generally don't learn in the classroom.
Correct.
The daily struggles, the things that how we are developing our own talents, the daily struggles, our journeys as we try to navigate this physical experience that this spiritual experience that we are having in the physical body.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to get to know you, and also, the people who are going to be listening and watching. I hope they can also, by the end of this, they can also get to know you.
For sure.
So that's the intention of this conversation today.
I'm excited.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me. For sure.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So usually when I start these interviews, right, I have the same introduction for everybody else. How was life growing up?
How was life growing up? It was good. It was, we struggled in certain areas, but, I was blessed to have family, friends that really supported and built up, each other and learned together. So growing up was just getting through it, really. And now I'm trying to not just get through it. I want to live through it, So
how would you describe living then?
Living, I would describe living as being purposeful and understanding to my daily, mission in life. Open and willing to just do what I'm supposed to do every day.
So what about growing up did not have that?
Growing up, actually right now I've just actually been phasing through a lot of the things that I grew up in. And growing up, in a 2-parent home with 4 kids, out in the suburbs, with, predominantly a white neighborhood. And I'm we're only Black girl in the school.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like trying to find myself, and then also trying to relate to the things that I actually experienced. So growing up was always learning, of course, but it was also, going through generational things that haven't been discussed.
Yeah.
So it was fun. Mm-hmm. It was great. I was blessed, like I said. I wouldn't change anything because that's what makes me the person I am today. So, and I learned a lot to be able to get here.
Okay. So you're a full-time musician now, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did your upbringing connect to music? Because there has to be some type of connection in there.
Yeah. So music really came from just my heart, for real. Like I was, since I was a kid, music was my thing. But the thing that really brought music to me was my dad and my mom, and my dad actually had a whole cassette and CD like holder, like, where you put all
Yeah.
the things
Yeah.
in. And he had all the Sugar Hill Gang, he had Cypress Hill, NWA, Anita Baker, you name it, it was in there. So Michael Jackson, I used to just pull those out and just go take them to my room and just listen to it myself. My dad actually bought me a stereo when I was little, and I went to Ace Hard or what was that store back in the day? I can't remember what store, but it was with all the technology, all the stereos and the TVs. But and I went there and I got a mic for myself when I was like 11 or 12. And I just connected there, just being able to experience the music. I realized how much like I connected to the words, the sounds, the feeling. Like I always thought I was like inside of the music. So, being able to live the music life now is definitely a blessing, because like that's what I live, breathe, sleep, eat, everything. Like
Yeah.
so yeah.
Recently, you had a placement in a film, Bel-Air.
Yes.
How does it feel having a placement in something as legendary as that is? Because growing up, I don't know how old you are, but people my age,
Yeah.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that's
It was
the thing.
yeah, that was all you as a kid you would watch. Like
Yeah.
that was, I mean, when I tell you I would watch every episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and from every story you learned all the lessons, from the TV shows. And so it was an honor, a blessing. It was amazing. I was just excited to have my music on something that, I related to as a kid all the way up to now. And, also having the representation of Kansas City, putting on for the city was even more exciting. So it was a great opportunity, because also scoring for film is a big thing for me.
Yeah.
I love scoring. I love sound. I love closing my eyes to a movie and listening to a sound, especially like a scary movie. So it's just one of those things that I was like, it wasn't, just putting my music on there for people to hear. Is like I get to like relate to the music now and see what they feel like it feels like to them. So it was exciting.
Does that? It's a lot of music. It's a lot of songs, right? That were purposefully made for soundtracks of movies
Right.
that ended up being like staples on their own individually. If no one tells you
Yeah.
that they're soundtracks, you would never know. Like, I think the greatest of all of that is the Whitney Houston song
Okay.
off of Bodyguard.
Bodyguard. Yeah.
I think that's, in my opinion, that's the greatest song of all time.
Yeah. Completely. I think Bodyguard soundtrack is my top. A House Party.
Yeah.
And then also Prince of Egypt.
Yeah.
Is one of like my top 3 soundtracks. Like I've always like loved to listen to. I used to listen to every single one of those actually in the car. We had the soundtracks. I had them. Yeah, we were listening to those.
I don't know what Prince of Egypt is.
Okay.
But I do know, like, having a song in a film on its own alone that's a huge score. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. I pray for more.
Yeah.
You know.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. You're a parent?
I am.
How is that? You're smiling as soon as I said a parent.
Yes, I am. I'm a mother of a beautiful daughter. Her name is Diani. She's 12. Well, she's about to be 12 in August. I'm so excited. She's so beautiful. she's just, grown into this, beautiful flower. And I'm just like, I'm very protective of her. She's a little stinker, of course, but she's my baby for real. And she's like, a lot of people recently, lately, actually, I am in another room and they don't even know I'm there. And she's in that room and they're like, immediately, I know who that is,
Oh, wow.
And that's, I was actually just told that the other week. And that meant a lot for me because, your child is you're a representation of who you are. They learn everything from you. They watch everything. So for her to just be able to be herself, but then people are like, that's Macy. That's that's her girl. Like that means a lot for me because that's my baby.
Yeah, I am a parent too. I have a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old daughter.
That's what's up.
Yesterday I went playing soccer.
Yeah.
And I was busy with the soccer. I turned around. She's running around kicking a ball somewhere at the back of the field.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's an amazing process to see them grow.
Yes.
My brother just had his first little one. And just to see him just like, literally spitting image of him.
Yeah.
And then just to kind of see him move in the way I'm like, man, I used to change your diapers. And now I get to see your son doing the same. Or like, it's a beautiful thing.
And there's nothing more beautiful than that. I get happy just talking about it. I grew up so fast after I had a child. Mm-hmm. I was just forced to grow, and my daughter, she's more like a big sister I never had. She's 3. The other day I was asleep. She came and said, "Daddy, wake up! You gotta go to work, Daddy."
Oh, they like, know.
They
know.
I'm like, I'm off. Why are you waking me up? I'm off today, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's just beautiful to watch. What an experience it is.
Yeah,
it's beautiful to watch. And yours is 12.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited for mine to get to that age, but everyone is like, nah, don't rush it.
Yeah, don't rush it. Take your time. You'll get to experience everything. Trust me. Everything.
It's beautiful.
It's so humbling, actually, because they show you who you are, honestly. And
so as a woman in a space that is predominantly, now it's like, women have made their mark in music and throughout history. There's no point in history where you're gonna look at musically and not find a woman who has either shifted the culture or influenced the culture in a way that is beyond comprehension. But most of the time, women get like the really bad side of the industry.
Yeah.
As a female let me not say female, because sometimes that people don't like being referred to as female.
It depends on how you use it, I guess.
So as a woman in this space, how are you navigating that?
As a woman, I just had to learn how to protect myself and, have respect for myself. If you have respect for yourself, they will have to have respect for you as well. And sometimes you'll still respect yourself and they still don't know how to. But it's just one of those things that I have learned to just have to navigate, basically. You just learn to just figure it out. I don't really like to make myself feel less than just because I'm a woman or a Black woman. Yeah. I believe that I have, just as much talent, just as much voice, and that I can bring to the table just as, anybody else. Yeah. And so sometimes it's hard because people don't really hear you when you say that. Yeah. They really don't understand where you're coming from and why would you say this. It's because I've experienced it and I know what I'm doing.
That's beautiful.
So, but it's just one of those things I do what I do so women coming behind me can
Follow,
feel
yeah,
as powerful, because if they don't see someone just like them, then it's hard to see yourself like
yeah,
in those spaces. Like I had to look to Whitney Houston, I had to look to Beyonce, and you know, people, you know, Rihanna, that, you know,
yeah,
really are fearless
yeah.
about just stepping in and say,
Mm-mm.
I don't care what you got to say,
Mm-hmm.
I'm showing up.
Yeah,
So, you know, Billie Holiday was a big voice in as a black woman in this industry. So it's just like, you know, I had to study those women and
yeah,
understand their confidence, understand, you know, how they stand and get what they need done.
yeah. The other day I was listening to a beautiful conversation between Angie Martinez and Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Tyson said, "Who has done what? Who has done what you're trying to become?" And I had to stop the interview
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like think about that.
Yeah.
Like, who has done what you're trying to become?
Yeah.
And when I started thinking about it for a while, it was more so like, what am I doing to provide that for somebody else? Somebody's been like, Charles has done this and this and this. I'm trying to be that,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So you you're saying what you just said as in the way where you're trying to create a path for the people that are coming behind you to look through
Right.
and create that space
Mm-hmm.
for them so they can be like, okay, she did that. She did 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a beautiful
Yeah.
thought process.
Right.
That's dope.
Yeah. I mean, you know, every day I think about, you know, I have a daughter, literally, she wants to dance, you know, she wants to do sports, you know. So am I making a way for her to be able to do those
Yeah,
things without
yeah,
having to struggle and fight?
yeah.
Because she
Hundred
deserves
percent,
those spaces.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. That on its own, it's noble, but sometimes that comes with a little bit of pressure. How are you navigating that pressure?
I pray a lot. You know, it's just having support and just having faith in what you're doing. Like, you have to really wake up with the intent of understanding that you have a purpose every day, and you know, this life isn't ultimately yours. And so, you know, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I truly believe that we're here to create for others, you know, everybody, so everybody else behind us can do the same. And so, you know, the pressure is just making more diamonds, make it basically. So that's how I allow it. I love, you know, the humbling of my space to make me better every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That yeah. I pray for that too. I pray that you know that I understand that it's okay for me not to be everybody's number one choice.
Yeah.
You know, I because sometimes we put these we just life in its own in general, like with music especially, right? With what you do, it started as fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it graduates from fun into you creating expectations with it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And then quickly it can go from something that started as fun to becoming something that is very stressful because now you're looking at these expectations and you're trying to
And meet
meet
your
these
own.
your own expectations, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and sometimes too societal expectations, and when you carry those things on top of and just carry them and put them on top of your head,
Mm-hmm.
literally it can weigh you down.
Yes, it
weigh,
can. It
weigh you
can.
down.
Especially, like you said, the society of just this world and the demand of what they think you should be doing right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
And I'm just
yeah,
like, eh.
yeah. It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing. And my prayer is that I I never lose that,
Right.
because sometimes it's like, wow, man, because I go through those phases where sometimes I'm just like, man, I need to. Why am I not there?
Yeah.
Why is my thing not there?
Yeah.
Why is this? Oh my God, this person. Okay, why am I not? And then quickly though, life humbles me when I'm getting into that moment.
Yeah.
Something always happens
Right.
around that time that kind of humbles me really quickly. And because there was a time I was speaking to a friend of somebody that I grew to know, who's been doing what I'm doing for a really long time.
Right.
And one day I go, hey, how long did it take you to get to where you are now?
Yeah.
And he goes, 6 years. And I go, wow, I just started.
Right.
And and he's like, I told you,
Yeah.
I don't think you even understood the progress that you have done so far. But
Right.
because you're measuring yourself against the wrong, you're
Things.
using
Yeah.
the wrong measuring stick to measure yourself, so
Yeah.
you're not gonna get.
Right.
So I just wanted to share that with you, just in case you're putting some of those pressures on yourself, because you're a dope artist.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate you saying that.
yeah, you're dope, and you're also not just artist by musician, right? I think you have a really good way of expressing yourself. Even the other day I was scrolling through Instagram, even your outfits,
Oh.
you know,
Yeah.
it's a form of express. Is that calculated?
Um.
Your outfit, is that
Yes.
calculated?
Calculated. Okay, so my inspiration is my grandmother when it comes to my dressing.
Yeah.
I used to watch my grandmother literally dress up to everything. Like even going to the gym, she had heels on. So it was just like, I saw her just show up how she wanted to. And it's just like, that's how she felt, and every time I dress up, that's how I feel. My dresses, all that stuff is a representation how I want to feel, how I want other people to feel too. Because I truly believe that it's an art to express, character and just a look that will captivate, why you're on stage.
Yeah.
Because I just did a benefit for the Band of Angels over this weekend, and I wore, like, usually my dresses are, I have a leotard, or I have a short dress, or I have a jumpsuit. But for this one, I was like, I had pictured what a benefit should look like, or what it should sound like, what it should feel like. And people weren't expecting what I was gonna wear for this show. And I kept telling, like, every time I would even talk to my musicians, I would say, so I wanted to feel like an Adele experience. And she has the big dress. She's not moving all over the place, but she's communicating.
Yeah.
She's talking. She's it's like a ballroom kind of feel.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and when I got on stage, like, people understood what that meant.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful, and I believe it's part of storytelling, everything apart.
The choir of angels, that's the I think it's a non-profit, right? They help provide music equipment for
Yeah.
the underprivileged and stuff like that, right? Wow,
Yeah,
nice.
so they provide scholarships, music education, instruments, resources for real, to be able to allow these children of Kansas City the experience that they deserve, and being able to get scholarships. Like, we had one of the representatives of Band of Angels come through, and she's actually a protege of Band of Angels.
Oh, wow.
And she just talked about how she has 4 scholarships waiting for her right now.
Wow.
Full rides. And that's incredible, because, like, all it is like someone being able to help her do that.
Nice.
Imagine if somebody just said, you got it.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
But like people are creating space so other people can walk through, and I think that's really dope.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. It's always a good thing when you are in a space where you can give back to people and help drag them along, and you know what I mean, show them that it is possible.
Yeah.
It's always a beautiful thing. Those people will remember this they will remember that for a really long time.
Yeah.
They really will. Let's talk about your creative process, musical creative process, right? You mentioned a lot of musicians earlier about growing up, the people you were listening to, but who's really the one musician that really inspired you?
Okay, so like that truly, I mean, when I say I have 3 solid ones. But the one that just like rang the bell for me was Michael Jackson. He just was. I mean, it was like when you really listen to his music or the musicality, and it was the production that was going on with that music, you could like literally hear everything. Prince, same thing. Prince was the same way. Like Prince knew every instrument that he played on that stage. In his music, he played everything that created Prince. And so those, Whitney Houston as well. Whitney Houston's my girl. Like Whitney Houston had the voice, so she was the one that also like showed me that it's okay to just belt and just sing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people used to try to douse that on me. Like they would be like, "Oh, you're loud." Yeah. I'm like, "No, you're just you're just timid about my voice." Yeah. Because I was just talking to my mom about that. I was like, "Man, I remember people used to like literally tell me to be quiet."
Yeah.
And I'm like, and now that's all, I'm really performing. It's like all I feel right now is like a Whitney Houston song. I just want to sing, literally. I just I want my voice to just hit off the wall and I can hear it right back.
Yeah.
And it just has a feeling to me.
Yeah.
I used to go into the racquetball place in the racquetball gym.
Yeah.
In the YMCA, just so I can go and sing to myself
it's
all the time.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I grew up too. Growing up too, people always tell me I talk a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, they just don't need to listen.
That has been a running thing. Growing up, people call me BBC because BBC is news channel. People there.
Yeah, I know exactly what.
So I have always.
That's a good thing. That means you were on the right path.
Yeah, and look at me now.
Right.
I'm still talking.
Yeah.
They're not listening though, but I still talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. They tell me shut up, I'll shut up. But when they go, I'll talk again.
I'll listen. You gotta listen. Learning to listen.
Yeah. But creativity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is something that is very personal. But in that personality, we get inspired by some of the things that are around us, some of the things that we have experienced, some of the things that we feel, and some of the things that sometimes we inherit, and that gives it a good blend of our own, your own personal blend. So listening to your music this few days, I've been listening to it. I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. I like it a lot. It's a lot of talent, and it's like in one song I can hear a little bit of everything. I can hear the high notes. Sometimes I can hear the little bit of just the alto sometimes. I'm like, ooh. She knows what she's doing. Sometimes it's almost like a bravado of ability. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm just gonna show you what I can really do with this vocal ability.
Right.
Is that a correct assessment?
Yeah, because even this last song, Go, that I
Yeah.
just released,
Yeah.
I like pushed myself to just express exactly how I felt. And that I don't want to come down is exactly how I felt. And I was just like, even one of my friends, J Soul,
Yeah.
she was in the other side of the studio, and she heard me like recording the song. And she's like, if you don't sing that note. And I was like, you're right. So just like being able to produce how you feel, that's all I love to do. That's how I put out my music. You know, that's how I create. It's like literally putting out how I feel. And I feel like I'm given these things too, you know, as far as like my writing, my experiences, you know, the notes.
Yeah.
Cause I be singing.
Yeah.
I just be singing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, being able to like write that down and then record it and then release it and then put visuals behind it. It's actually a great
feeling.
It's a great feeling. It's beautiful, you know, and then being able to perform it and then someone coming up to you and saying the exact opposite of how you wrote it.
Yeah, and that's
and
how
I'm like,
feel.
that's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you can come up with your own experience listening to me, I did exactly what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Because making you feel like you should feel some type of way doesn't accomplish anything. Like, I want you to feel exactly how you feel when you hear my music. I want you to just fall in love with your experience with my music, because that's what I did with Michael Jackson. That's what I did with Prince. You know, I fell in love. I was inside of the music. That's what I meant about.
Yeah, it's,
you know,
it's beautiful. It's just it tells you how polarizing words are, right? You sat in your house and crafted these beautiful words together, expressing how you feel. And somebody else listened to it and is looking at it like, wow, is this, I feel this way about this.
Yeah.
And this is words that you put out and somebody else had a whole nother feeling to it. I forgot the name of the song. Nas has a song, is it Can I Leave? I think that's the name of the song, where he was talking about a gun. That might not be the title of the song.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
But he was talking about a gun. But when you listen to the song, you might completely think he's talking about his homeboy and something else.
Yeah.
So, and somebody else can listen to that and feel something completely different. That's the power of pure artistry, you know what I mean? That's the power of ability to write. Let's start with that first.
Yeah.
And then also, when you have the ability to write really well and the ability to sing really well, that's like a double-headed sword. Not everybody can do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's in this industry, it's also beneficial because, you know, as far as being able to write your music and produce it and release it, you own all that.
Yeah.
So you're getting, you know, you're benefiting from it, you know, as far as making money and stuff. And it just shows your whole project. It shows, you know, your abilities but also being able to write with other people is an awesome experience too.
Yeah.
Because then you get to have those experiences all in one. I love, the best example of that is Beyonce. Beyonce has writers all over the place. And, you know, you listen to her performing these songs and you relate that to her life. And then you can also relate that to yours as well.
Yes.
Because she's, you know, she has so many perspectives. And then also she's, you know, it's like a melting pot of great ideas, you know, good feeling, and everybody's in there collaborating.
Yeah.
And so you could honestly feel that.
Yeah.
You can really feel that. And because sometimes I'm listening to even her song Heated right now.
Yeah.
Woo! Like off the chain. Like it's so powerful. She's been speaking to women for so long. Especially the Black woman.
Yeah.
She's been speaking to how she should walk in that door. She's been speaking to how she, she shouldn't settle for less. Yeah. And so like, but I know it's coming from other people. Yeah. But she's able to produce that and tell women because she experienced that herself. Yeah. So it's cool. It's cool.
She and her husband are
absolutely awesome.
Man, I don't know. I don't ever think, in my eyes, I don't ever think Jay can do anything wrong. I don't care what he did. I don't think what he did.
I actually thought about him today because I thought it was just like, it took him a lot of growing and a lot of humbling and a lot of I'm just seeing him now to where they started off before and just the wisdom that they both have and being able to just put out to the world. Like they're a good representation of the Black American experience.
Not the Black American only. I'm telling you, Black people all over
the world. You're right.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Like this guy goes from saying some of the craziest lines, some of the craziest drug lines to braggadocious lines, to coming to us and telling us that I fucked around and almost lose the baddest girl in the world.
Literally. And I was thinking, I was just like, imagine the things that he had to change inside of himself. Yeah. To understand that what his purpose of what he needed to do in the future. And look where it got him now.
Yeah, that humility alone for him to be like, this is the guy that we all look to us. This is the guy. Yeah. And he came back and said, I fucked around and almost lose the baddest girl in the world. Yeah. Nigga never be Eric Benet. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, it's kind of like a jab to Eric Benet, but it's almost like saying also, Eric Benet, now I know. Mm-hmm. I might have judged you when you were going through the same thing, but now I know. It's like, man, it's like, ooh. Mm-hmm. It's, as a man, watching somebody in that space just humbly be like, hey, you think I am the guy, but this individual here, this is the truth right here.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about what he gained after he had to break himself down. Yeah. I mean, he has a beautiful family, literally, all around him. Yeah. Friends that love him genuinely. I mean, and that's what you need. That's what we have to do.
Sometimes it just takes an ass whoop when you get your ass whooped. Yeah,
we just got a good whooping. That's all right. He be all right. Wipe your tears.
A little elevator ass whoop after that. He straighten up. So sometimes it's you gotta be. Sometimes life will just put you out in a humbling space just to kind of humble you, and then a little bit of therapy and then healing. Yeah, and then
completely.
He just I just seen a video of him that I shared on Instagram today, pulling up to Michael Rubin's all white party, and he pulled up in a Wrangler, an old school Wrangler Jeep, and he just, the way they are just living now, right?
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about as far as living.
Yeah, they just, these people are actually, they're living. They're like, you know what? I don't have to be here, but I can be here. And now we're actually seeing them out more than they used to. Just, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome. They're awesome. They're good people. Well, I can't say complete because I've never met them, but I'm, outside looking,
it's a good representation.
Good, yeah, good people. Just, hopefully I get to meet them one day.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait. I can't wait. I just want to just tell them thank you when I see them. Yeah. Yeah. If I ever meet them, that's I might not have the opportunity to have a conversation, but I just want to look him in the eye, shake his hand, and just say thank you. And that's all I can say.
Solid. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure he'll definitely understand what that thank you means.
Yeah. 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 there's anything I want to tell him, I just want to just shake his hand and say thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what else can you tell him that he probably never had?
Right. I mean, that's the crazy part is that you never know what you can learn.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
And that's the cool part about, what I've seen about them is that they're always open to learn from other people.
Yeah.
And
they do.
Yeah.
They do. And they're also very like when they take from someone, right? They always make so it's known that this is from him. Even the Basquiat look.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been listening to him for years,
yeah,
he's
always
mentioned
talked
Basquiat
every
for
time.
years.
Yeah.
If you look, they have On the Run, when they did the On the Run tour, right?
Mm-hmm.
They shot a video when they are on the motorbike, and the motorbike has horns of bull horns, right?
Right.
That was inspired from an old school Senegalese movie,
right?
Tuki Buki. And then when they took that, they actually made it known that this is inspired from this.
Yeah.
And that things like that.
Yes.
It's very rewarding, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just beautiful to watch.
It's the beauty of collaboration. It's the beauty of just like, making art with other people. Like, of course you're going to be inspired by somebody else. Mm-hmm. That's what we're supposed to do, is inspire other people. People call it copycatting. No, they're just inspired. You should be glad you were the vessel that inspired them. Yeah. And so, and like you said, they just do very well in making sure that people know that they're respected, that their art is valued.
It's valued. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can sit here. When it comes to Jay, I can talk about Jay-Z all day. But let's pivot. Let's talk about you, because the who knows? You could be the next thing. You might not be next Jay-Z or next Beyonce. I'm not putting that on you, but you can be the
next Love Mae C.
When we look at them, what we see is a child somewhere that looks at you, that was in the future is gonna look at you and be like, Mae C, that's you know what I mean?
I was just at a repass the other day, and I was singing. Mm-hmm. And I was just, vibing, and of course we were singing all, the good songs, just vibing, having a good time, celebrating life. And I was singing Moody Long, Hours and Hours. Yeah. And there's a group of kids, like we're like 12, 13, 14 years old. And they were just in the kitchen just singing. Yeah. And then later on, they came up to me and they're like, "Hey, what's your name? What do you do? Like, do you do music all the time?" And I'm like, "Yep." And then they just started singing. They're like, "Okay, I wish I could sing with you." And so I just started singing
with them,
and I was just like, "Yours, mine." And then they just started singing. Yeah. That was, I don't know what it was, but I was like, I don't even think I could have captured that moment.
Yeah, that's
like,
music, though.
It was music. It was like they just started, we were just singing to each other. Yeah. And we didn't finish. I mean, like, stop. I thought, of course, you do one song, one line, and you're good. No, we just kept singing. And then he introduced himself. They introduced themselves, and they even told me what they were doing, and I was just like, this is awesome. Yeah. This is good.
That's what music does, though. You ever just hear a song, you have no idea what the person is saying, right? But the song just like
it just makes you want to sing.
It speaks to you in a way, and you just start tapping. It starts from little tapping your feet, right? And you start bumping your head, right? Before you know, you're cleaning the whole house, right? Over a song that
completely,
over a song that you have no idea what they're talking about, but the music, that's what music, that's the power of words, that's the power of what we do, and that's the power of what you do. And it's so much power behind it, and it's so much like creativity that goes into it. I mean, sometimes it's like the sacrifice of just trying to put content music out, and the late nights and the early mornings and all of that stuff. When kids come to you and they do stuff like that, It's a rewarding feeling.
It really is. It's a blessing, especially when you like, you know, generation after generation, you're just understanding like how do you relate, you know, as you're going older, and then also just going through life in the first place. And then, you know, I believe that you're never too young to teach, and you're never too old to learn.
Yeah.
So it's just like you never know what that experience between you and that child it will be, in the best way. So it's just like, why not be open to it? Because it's both of you guys in this place.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I think it's because I've seen so many situations where I see a child, you know, wanting to chase this dream.
Yeah.
You know, whatever is in their heart, whatever is in their mind, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
No matter how many times you try to tell them to do something else,
Yeah.
that dream is always going to be there. And I don't know how many times I see people try to move people, pull them in other directions, or not push them into their direction.
Yeah.
And it's sad because there's no reason they should have to, especially when we can for them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That is very true. Growing up, I told my dad I wanted to be a journalist. He pushed me to be a lawyer. I even went to law school in Africa.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I studied law in Gambia. Wow. I worked for a bank as a legal officer, all of that stuff. None of that is being put to use right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not walking around quoting legislations and law acts and saying stuff. I'm here with microphones and talking to people. So whatever your original passion is, if the smallest window that you have to tap back into it, it's just gonna click right in. Right. Sometimes people try to push that out of the way and try to tell you,
and put their own fears on you.
Yeah.
That was all that was one of the things I struggled with growing up. Like, literally. I mean, when I say over the past 3 years, I've just been kind of reflecting. I'm like, geez, I really have been wanting to do music this whole time. But, you know, growing up, my dad was a football player. So he didn't see me doing anything else other than a sport.
Yeah.
You know, and going to school. And when I remember asking my parents for a studio, I wanted to do sing, I wanted to dance, and they never like showed up to those experiences for me until, you know, I started really getting on the scene here. And so it's just like, you know, I don't want my daughter to go through having to fight herself on what she's supposed to be doing. Because God's gonna put it on their heart regardless, and they're going to, and everything's gonna move out of the way for them to do it, especially if it's their purpose.
My father passed on. Sometimes I wonder, like, if he was here, I think he would have been like, I seen this, or he would have kind of known. I don't know. I just wonder sometimes, but then again, it's like, I'm happy. That's why when I reach out to people, and people are like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. And sometimes it's hard for me to believe. I'm like, do I have to pinch myself? You know, and it's beautiful. Like, just a kid from Africa, Gambia, grew up in not the best conditions over there. I came over here, went to school, graduated, just wandering off in Kansas City, not doing nothing.
Right.
And one day I decided I need to do a podcast that talks about international students and their journey. So the intention was to create a reference point, because the America I have in my mind, and the real America is like, the America I have in my mind is Hollywood.
Yeah.
In my wildest dream, I didn't know that it's a place in America called Wyandotte County.
Yeah.
You know, the closest thing to, if it's not Hollywood, that I seen is Boys in the Hood. So you kind of have the extreme of extremes. You know what I mean? You have the Boys in the Hood, and and then you have the Hollywood. So you like, okay, there's this side,
Yeah.
that's that side, but you never really find the medium. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you come and I'm like, let me create something that's gonna really, if someone wants to come to America and you stumble on my platform, it's gonna show you, kind of give you an idea of what you're walking into, right?
Yeah.
So I started just interviewing international students, Africans alone. And one day, a good friend of mine, Teddy B, Teddy Huey, he sings too.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Teddy one day said, "How you gonna tell the American story and leave the Americans out of this?" And when he said that, it actually clicked. So I think he was one of the first person I interviewed who's
Aw.
actually American.
That's what's
And
up.
this thing just took its own. It took its own. It's just become whatever it's becoming now.
Yeah.
It's just, so that's why it's hard when people say, "Oh, I have a podcast. What kind of podcast is this?" I really have no idea. I don't think I have some words to tell you exactly what it is. And I talk to people sometimes. They're like, "I don't think your thing is a podcast. It's more like a show." Like, nah, I have a podcast. Kim has a show. Those are two different things. So it's like, it means a lot when people actually take time off
Yeah.
their day and come here and have these conversations with me. It's, I don't know, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
I find out to everybody that comes here, I'm like a little kid in a candy store. Just sometimes I just can't stop talking. I just talk, and they're
Yeah.
like,
I feel that.
yeah,
It's
I'm
okay.
like,
That means you're excited about what you do and
Yeah.
you're passionate about it as well.
I am.
Who does something and not show up for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. There you go. But it's a blessing. It's a beautiful thing just to sit here and have these conversations with you. You're well spoken. You're very thoughtful. Very thoughtful.
Oh, thanks.
You're very thoughtful.
Yeah, I mean, I just try to, every day I try to be as intentional as I can. I've had a lot of experiences in life where, I feel like I didn't get the best out of it.
Yeah.
And I had to even self-reflect about what part I had to play in those situations. And, that's just life. Wanting to be a better person every day, showing up for yourself, showing up for, the people around you is important, and I feel like that's how we get to accomplish our daily life.
Yeah.
In whatever we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because this world is too damaged
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
For,
Oh man.
for you not to, for me at least, to not feel obligated.
Yeah.
I feel obligation, and I will always have that in my heart and feel like, everywhere I'm supposed to show up, I need to.
Yeah. It does a lot for people, just showing up for someone. When I went to Gambia a couple of years ago when I first started podcasting, and it was a guy who literally has a camera phone, an Android phone. He has, him and his friend, he has one filming one, he's recording the interview in the other one.
Yeah.
And they wanted to interview me, and I refused to do the interview because I was like, this is not going to be good quality, right? It's the worst thing I have ever done. Till this day, I feel so bad that I said no.
Right.
Because, I have cameras and you were shooting from your phone, right? But I sit back now and I think about it. I was like, I just know when just me saying yes and just they just wanted to talk about America. It's not even, it's like a street interview. It's not even something like, come and sit down for 20 minutes and watch me put these lights on, watch me put this mic together. Just that. I could have just stopped and and just
applied
have
their
that conversation
yeah.
and just kind of give them what I knew, my experiences about America. It won't take 10, 15 minutes, and I just
Yeah.
didn't do it. And till this day, I'm like, man, I was like, if I go back home, I need to go find them
Yeah.
and be like, hey, if you, however long you want to do this, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good that you have that on your heart at least,
Yeah.
and that and because and I think about that too because like you never know who you can inspire, and you never know. I like me being in Kansas City as the artist that I am. A lot of people think that I won't show up. A lot of people think I'm not gonna say anything to them, and I'm just like, I didn't grow up like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't grow up, to where I felt like, if I'm on this side, I don't have to go on that side,
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, how can I apply to this space?
Yeah.
And so, like, I've been in situations where I was just like, oh, no.
Yeah.
But, sometimes when I just showed up,
Mm-hmm.
they just met me there.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah.
Okay, what do I have to do to
Yeah.
make it sure that Mae C is good or whatever? And I'm just like, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
No rush, no. All I ask is to be respected.
Yeah.
All I ask is that, if this is a vision of yours, then, make sure you're right about it. Yeah. And, we can all do something here.
Yeah.
And,
For sure. Meaningful.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so hopefully you get to do that.
Yeah, I will.
And hopefully they get to find you. And maybe they're coming over here and be like...
They in Gambia, Africa. I for sure when I go back, for sure. And the thing is, I actually know... we know people who know each other. So finding them would definitely not be hard.
Yeah.
When I go back, I owe them. However long they... I might even just be like, you know what? I'm gonna follow you, and then I'm gonna film for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix it.
Right. And you never know. You never know why that experience wasn't fulfilled at the time.
Yeah.
And there's always time if you still have time.
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely gonna fix it. I promise you, I will. Because I already reached out to through someone to say that, hey, tell this dude that I promise him I'm gonna do however long they want to do. They're like, all right, we'll hold you to it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Another thing too, another underlining thing that I hope I'm not wrong. I hope I'm not wrong, right? Another underlining thing that I noticed with you, right? Mm-hmm. You know how some people are super, super dope, right? But they play the humble card so much to the point where they just don't want to, it's not a thing that they would even want to mention or talk about, right? Mm-hmm. But with you kind of have the thing to say that, you know who I am, kind of vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have a little bit of that, and that's so beautiful. That is very, very okay. I love when people do that.
Yeah.
But people just, a lot of time, people want to play the low-key, almost toxic humility. You know what I mean? They play the humble card so much to the point where it's almost like,
okay.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
Yeah, but you...
Okay, but how do you really feel?
Yeah, but deep down, like, low-key, you have that vibe where they say, you know I'm Mae C.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to have to keep it real.
Yeah.
And make sure it's I learned that by watching my grandmothers.
Yeah.
They raised kids left and right, but they made sure that their kids were taken care of. They made sure that things were done. They made sure that their kids knew what they need to be doing.
Yeah.
And it's just like all that is just being the woman I am inside. Yeah. It's just like I have to be confident. I have to show up. I have to, I have a daughter that expects me to show up. So it's just like if I act timid, if I act, like too humble. I have been told I've been too humble. But I'm just like, you just don't know me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because I'm smiling and cute don't mean I can't speak up for myself.
Yeah. Kim tells me that all the time. Do you even realize what you do, Charles?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, not really. It's like, yeah, you try to play this humble stuff a little too much, Charles. But, but sometimes too, I'm like, I'm a Gemini. Sometimes she's sad to me. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, you know who I am. Yeah,
I feel like, yeah, you Gemini.
yeah.
My mom's a Gemini. Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I just want to be like, you seen my videos?
Yeah.
Like sometimes I just want to be like, yeah, you know how much time is put into this?
Yeah.
Like try making one like this.
Yeah.
Like I have that in me, but also sometimes I'm just too humble. And it's times where I go places and somebody give me a compliment and I'm just so ashamed. It's almost like I'm just so shy. I can't even look them in the eye when they're like, man, what you do is so dope. And it was sitting like that. Like, damn, not right now. Please, not right now. People watching. And it's
All you have to do is say thank you. Listen, I was told the same thing. You just gotta say thank you. Accept the blessing that you're being given. Take it, and run with it. Keep going. That's exactly what God is talking to you.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
What you're doing is awesome. Like, listen to those things. Yeah. Be grateful for them.
Yeah, I try, but sometimes I'm like, nah, not right now.
I'm like, thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Especially if I am at somebody else's event or something.
Yeah.
And then somebody says, oh, you're the guy with, oh man, you do such a great job. And I'm like, not right now, please. Yeah. And then I leave there and I'm driving in the car and I'm telling my wife, yeah. Somebody saw me today. Yeah. You know what they said? I told you. Telling you.
Right.
Telling you.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But in the moment, I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just saying, yeah. A bunch of yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
But as soon as they leave, I'm like, yo, guess what happened?
It's exciting. It's beautiful.
Very beautiful. Nothing is, to me, for me, on my own creative process, right? Nothing is more beautiful. Like when I go home and I break down all these videos, and I break them down and I look at them, and then the quality is beautiful.
Yeah.
And the people look happy doing the interview, and the conversation is rich.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God.
Yeah.
Damn, look what I put together. Yes. And sometimes I'm telling you, it's interviews that are so good. Mm-hmm. And I keep them for like 6 months.
Yeah, I know how that is.
And I'm like, maybe if I put this out now, I might not have one like this. Time.
But see, and that's the thing is just you have to follow. You just got to keep following with the expectations.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have expectations because you have to meet yourself every time.
Yeah.
So it's just like, put it out. Yeah. Release it. Trust me, I have to tell myself the same thing.
Yeah.
Because music is the same thing for me. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is so good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, literally just hovering over it forever.
Forever, yeah.
And they're like, when are you releasing the song?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have it on repeat right now.
I interviewed somebody like that who I had sent a link to the interview, and the person watched it and was buzzing. Like, oh my God, Charles, when are you putting this out? How very soon? 1 month, 2 months. They call me. If you're not putting it out, I'm putting it out. I'm like, oh, wait. You know what?
Right, I have the leak.
Let it not get there. I'm putting it out this week.
Yeah.
And I had to put it out. It's like, damn, put this thing out. It's like, I've been talking about this forever. And you're not putting it out. But that's the thing. But right now, I'm just recording a bunch of episodes that I'm putting together for season 2. I used to do black and white. Now I'm gonna do the color.
I did see the black and white with Kim.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the color and because I think the black and white is cozy, it's personal, but it takes away from just the beauty of how people express themselves, what they put on together. Because in my opinion, that is a part of the story that they're telling.
Right.
So when you put
color.
Yeah, when you put certain things black and white, it takes away from that.
The full experience.
Yeah, the full experience. So we're gonna go color, and then I'm just shooting a bunch of interviews, and then I'll just put them out, align them out, and put them out.
Yeah.
I want to be a little consistent. And that's what I'm trying to do. But I appreciate you a lot. I appreciate you. This is beautiful, and
I appreciate it.
I'm proud of you. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Proud of you. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
I want to see you. I want to see you win.
They'll sell you hope for the price of action. It's for you not to auction your dream at a 9-to-5 gathering. Learn the ropes to be free from self-bondage. Have to fend for yourself. Do not feast with the vultures. That's how you preserve culture. That's how legacy is built. Each one teach one. Each one help one. Each one feed one. Each one praise one. There's no generational wealth without generational wisdom. No man is free unless the whole family is free. Family tax is a real thing. My auntie need a Benz. My cousin needs some Jordan 3s. I'll be damned if I let another man tell me my limits. Catch up, naysayer. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning.